Hello everyone. It's me again. I'm back. My name is Sue. Welcome to my channel. I had a lot of WhatsApps, right? Requesting me to do a video on narcissism, right? Because on a previous video, there was a mention on narcissism, and a lot of people were like, what's that? I usually do these videos once a week, but I thought, okay, let me just do this one, right? Now, narcissists, we all have a little dose of it. That's what pushes us to achieve our goals. We achieve, a goal that I want to have a nice house, I want to have a big car, I want to have this, right? But if it extends to the part where it hurts other people, right, it becomes a disorder, right? In my previous videos, I did mention a bit about living with such a person who was my dad, right? Now, it starts, they're very charming at the beginning, right? I mean, my dad used to come before he marries my mom, right? He will come and, would bring us gifts as kids, right? We were staying with my cousins back there, right? When he comes to visit my mom before they got married, he'll come with gifts. He'll shower us with all sorts of praise and love. And he was totally very different then, very charming, right? And we'd be like, oh my gosh, he's great, And when he married my mom, things changed like drastically. This person was showering me with love and gifts and everything. And then when I went to stay with them and my mom, because I'm the only child, I was the only child in that marriage, right? Things changed. I mean, it was from, oh, I love you, I'm bringing you gift, to you're not my child, why are you here, type of story, and like it's confusing, especially for a child. So yeah, let me not talk too much regarding this. Let me put some videos that you guys can understand. Narcissists are created from childhood, right? Kids who are the emotions, the big thing in creating a narcissist is lack of empathy. They don't know how to have empathy. They don't feel for other people. They really don't know how to feel because they were never taught to regulate their emotions. So if you have parents who didn't teach you how to regulate your emotions, you will grow up with that, because some behaviors are learned, right? So I believe that love should not hurt. Love should not hurt, right? People have different opinions in a relationship, any kind of relationship, right? It could be relationship with your friends, could be relationship with family members, could be relationship with your children, right? That love should not hurt, right? It should be just love. That's it, right? You shouldn't have love that's attached to things, right? My mom was really great with that. My mom used to tell me, I love you because you are you. I love you because you are my child, period. I do not love you because you get an A on maths or you have a nice big car or a big house or whatnot, right? Because that's where also with families and siblings, it becomes a problem, because now you kind of like favor, or I'm favoring this child of mine because he gets an A, or I'm favoring this child of mine because he's got money and a big house, or I'm favoring this child of mine because he gives me money, right? It should be, I love you guys, all of you, because you are my children. That's it, right? So when it comes to the favoring and the isolation and the choosing, I prefer this one, I don't prefer this one, it also creates problems in the dynamics of families, because now you confuse as a child, like, okay, my mom really doesn't like me, or my dad really hates me because what? I don't have a job, I don't have money, I don't have this, I don't have that, right? It shouldn't be like that, right? That's where the problem it's created, and kids grow up with that mentality. I'm gonna manipulate, because now I'm gonna get this, and I'm gonna kind of like, manipulate my mom or my dad, because now I pay whatever for you. You should never ever do stuff because there's payment in return type of thing. You shouldn't love. Maybe I should put it like that. You shouldn't use your feelings because you get some kind of payment out of it. If the relationship is wrong, it's just wrong, right? And also my dad, we find out later that he was cheating like crazy. Like my mom, the first time I found out, right? My mom, I was like 19. We're sitting there and my mom called me and said, I think you better listen to this. You come and listen to this, because when I entered there, all my dad's families were there, right? My mom was standing alone on the other side, and the rest of them were here to protect or to validate whatever it is that he was saying, right? And when I heard it, I was sitting and I'm thinking, what the heck? Right? Because now they were defending it. Oh no, it was a big mistake. You didn't do all of this because wada. And yeah, this woman, whatnot, right? And I'm sitting there as a child and I'm like, what the hell? What's going on here? Why is my mom being, being pressured to accept this poison? This is not it. But anyway, let's just get to the videos and then we'll talk about it later.
The signature characteristics of many personality disorders can be quite unpleasant, such as the case of Narcissistic Personality Disorder. Interacting with an NPD sufferer can be confusing, frustrating, and even hurtful. The NPD individual will often overlook or ignore many of these traits that make them unlikable. Here are 9 signs which may be a result of narcissism. 1. Instead of listening, they're wrapped up in their own opinion. Ever felt looked down upon or ignored, even though that person was in no position to do so? You might have encountered a sign of narcissism. Their perception leads them to believe what you have to say isn't important, so they blank it out. Rather than actively listening and integrating in discussions, they treat all conversations as a platform to present their ideas only, which they think are the only ideas worth listening to. 2. They tend to cheat in relationships. Narcissists feel they're treasures that are too good for anyone. Bring this attitude into a relationship, and you have lightning waiting to strike. Cheating is often a way for narcissists to build their ego. Author Caterina Valentini at Psychology Today says that narcissists are incapable of forming any kind of normal relationship and will wreak havoc in partners' lives. Betraying someone and leaving them in great grief gives a narcissist a rush of power. 3. They constantly need to be admired. If you've seen a narcissist, maybe you've seen that they almost swagger, oozing conceit and arrogance with every breath. They may look like they possess tremendous confidence, but it's not enough. They need constant admiration. The delusion of always being entitled to admiration is why people around them often find themselves emotionally drained. To them, there's no greater rush than being put on a pedestal and worshipped by their fans and followers. 4. They do not take any criticism well. Have you ever commented on something someone said and they lashed out at you? Maybe the reaction was more hostile than expected. They think they're superior to others around them and believe themselves to be infallible. They react poorly, maybe yelling, throwing a tantrum, or with another unreasonable response when they perceive what you've said might be criticism. 5. They exploit others without guilt or shame. Narcissism and empathy don't go hand in hand. Narcissists are unwilling to see the world from the perspective of others. As a result, they're able to exploit others without any feeling of remorse. They can manipulate people to fulfill their own needs without regard for the consequences that their actions may have on others. 6. They belittle others. The narcissist thinks they're the best and brightest, so seeing proof that dictates otherwise, like someone who is more talented than they are at a particular activity, is a rude shock. The response is to make sure that the person is below them, where the narcissist feels most others belong. They try to be dismissive about the other person, to show that they don't really even care about them. And if that doesn't work, they resort to personal attacks. They belittle and intimidate the other person in order to assert their superiority over them. 7. They see themselves as more attractive than they really are. Despite the fact that everyone should feel attractive, there's a fine line between a healthy self-image and being delusional. This line is often crossed by narcissists who believe that they are exceptionally attractive regardless of having any imperfections. The narcissist uses this perceived superior attractiveness to justify to themselves why they're too good for everyone. 8. They gaslight those who are dear to them. Have you ever noticed feeling that you can't remember anything correctly around a specific person? When you're with that person, do you feel a little like you've lost your mind? That's due to gaslighting, a tactic narcissists use in order to manipulate and gain power and control over those around them. Gaslighting is frightening because it's insidious. The manipulation is lengthy and gradual, so the victim doesn't notice it happening, like when you grow taller. The end result of the long-term gradual manipulation is the devastation of the victim. It can reduce the most healthy, confident person down to being a shaking, paranoid shell. The victim no longer believes they know what's real, so they adopt the reality of the abuser, giving the narcissist full control. 9. They put some people on pedestals. Our last sign seems oddly contradictory to the other signs, but it is very logical, and here's why. Narcissists believe that they have to have perfection in everything, including people they associate with. A narcissist will often cozy up to someone higher in status, believing that their perfection will somewhat rub onto them. For example, that suck-up in class who always gets the lecturer's full attention, or the brown-noser at work who barely does any work but gets promotions. Do you or does anyone you know show these signs of narcissism? Tell us which sign or signs you find most helpful and why in the comments below. Don't forget to share this video with someone who might benefit from it. Click on the subscribe button for more videos on psychology and mental health. As always, thank you for watching.
There you are, parents. I think for this video's purposes, I must put a disclaimer. Should have put that at the beginning, that this is for educational purposes. If you feel triggered in any way, seek help, right? Because these are heavy stuff, right? And love should not hurt. If we have different opinions, we sit down and we talk about stuff, right? We find a common ground and we align our opinions, and people should not suppress other people's opinions, right? Let me hear you what you're saying, right? It also goes with the kids, parents. If a child comes to you and say, I'm feeling sad, those are their feelings. They've got nothing to do with you as a parent, right? Listen, sit down and say, I'm so sorry, honey. I'm listening, right? And validate their emotions, right? If they come to you and say, I feel, those are their emotions. They've got nothing to do with you. I repeat, nothing, right? Listen to the child, right? You're feeling sad. Sometimes they say random things, but the fact that they are validated and a parent is listening, it makes such a huge difference, right? They grow up knowing that my feelings are validated. If they're not, they go rogue, right? I grew up with parents who didn't validate my emotions, so I'm going to go around and spread that type of story, right? If a child grow up with a parent who validate their emotions, guess what? It becomes a generational blessing, right? If that child's emotions were not validated whatsoever, they told you, child, oh, grow up, oh, you a man, oh, this, right? They grow up with that, and it becomes a generational trauma. So let's do better. We know better, so let's do better with our children. Thank you so much for your support. Please share and subscribe. And also, if the comment, I know a lot of you want to remain anonymous, right? But go and comment on the video and let me know your thoughts. Love you much. See you soon. Bye.